Welcome to Chickadee Acres. We are mid-February, family day actually, and I'm out trying on these aluminum snowshoes that are not quite like the traditional snowshoes. We have roughly about 18 inches of snow in the orchard. We're heading for the orchard. It's always my favorite place because that's the one that's kind of still in progress. We're looking at the spirea in winter, and those two little twigs poking out of the snow are my viburnum. And well, it's very pretty though. You can actually see, I'll point you in the right direction, you can see the swells and rises and valleys of where the paths go, because there's more grass in the higher areas, right? I didn't cut there. So while we go through the path today, I'm going to share with you some changes that I will be making to the garden with multiple interruptions, with oohs and ahs. Oh, look, for example, the bird bath has got snow melting right now, so if a bird got thirsty, they could actually come here and have a drink. How lovely. That's exactly what it's for. My bench has got snow on it and the paint has already started to peel. Something else to think about someday. What the plan is. Lavender bed, it's not going to work here, it's too wet. But peach trees, Stella cherry trees, and hazelnut shrubs ×4 are coming this spring. So that's pretty exciting. And so this is all going to get weed whacked down. The tarp's going to come up. I'm going to ask my neighbor with his Kubota to come and pile me some dirt to rise this at least a good 2 feet before. So when I transplant the trees, they will be above the wet parts and still have lots of roots. Then for the hazelnuts, I'm thinking, I think our little plum tree deserves some friends that aren't in the same family. Over on this side here to replace the old plum tree, and then on this side of the tree, but you know, nearby, because I've got 4 of them coming. And that'll solve my perennials getting buried in the weed problem, because they grow fast, they're shrubby. You can capice them too for more wood for making things with, like wattle fences and whatnot, which is pretty darn exciting. Yeah, so that's going to be a lot of fun. All right, enough about that. Let's continue around. Whoa, I'm getting a nice workout too. This is great. We had a really great harvest. I still have some dried pear chips in a jar and some dried apple chips. At first I thought they were going to be leather. I wanted crispy chips, but no matter how long I did it for, they came out soft. But I didn't realize once they're really cool, they get nice and dry. Now we're right by the apple bed. There's our Macintosh over there. She's a good girl. I pruned her and headed off a lot of the tips, I think that's the trick. Head them off at the pass so they have more side sprouts. Apparently the side sprouts are more prone to be spurred, which is fruit bearing and flower bearing, of course. That's our little choke cherry there, and that's our little honey crisp. And this over here is another choke cherry. There's next door to his buddy so he doesn't get too lonely. So, yes, every gardener's dream is to have a weed-free beds. But boy, when you're out in the bush like we are, the battle against the weeds is even more intense. Goodness gracious, I gotta go in here. Yeah, this is the brush that like follows, like you can see our home right there with the snow on the roof. On this side is just hasn't been developed. And I planted trees here 19 years ago. So all these here are roughly, 19 feet. You want to plant things with long-term projects so that it gives you something to go for, I mean, why else? Why else are we here? That's another subject for another vlog. Yeah, we have buckthorn. I don't like it. And I can't get to my... Can I get to my pussy willow? Yeah, we're coming for some pussy willow. Hang on, I'm going to pause this and get to the pussy willow and then get back to you. Okay, we made it. We made it to the pussy willow tree. We're going to cut ourselves some pussy willow branches to add to some vases at the thrift store. That would be awesome. All right, I think that's enough. Let's see what we've got. And make my way back. Oh, I'm stuck. Okay, make my way back. Ouch. I'm not really dressed for this, but when an impulse strikes, you do it. And why keep everybody waiting until spring for information? And hey, it's a beautiful day. Oh, here's some interesting information. This little knobby here is an insect that burrowed into this weed early spring, I'm guessing, at some point in time. And while they're developing, and before they, I guess, change into or pupate into some kind of flying insect, they leave these behind because the plant just remains swollen, and they're called galls, I believe. Just a little trivia. It's an insect that does that, and there's not much you can do about it. This year, I'm hoping to improve and make things low maintenance, because there's only so many hours in the day, and when it's hot, it's no fun. And I don't want to say as you get older, it's harder to withstand or tolerate the heat, but sometimes it sure does feel like it. So we're just going to make our way back. All right, so that was the corn bed. I don't know if you saw that. And then here, there's a birch tree there, another birch tree there, another little one there, and then a bunch of dogwood. This is a loop. That would be the bottom of the 8. And I planted one dogwood. Unfortunately, it branches out. So I'm going to give it one more year, and I'm going to cut it back to the ground and see if it just comes up with one stem. dogwood shrub. So, this is the dogwood that I planted in front of my birch trees, saplings. We'll call them saplings. They're not quite trees yet. And it grows pretty quick in the summer to the point of splitting up into multiple branches. So it's not a really good capicing subject unless I'm just not doing it right. First, I'm trimming off all the nice skinny branches that I want, and then I'm going to have to dig down below and remove those big branches right to the ground, and we'll see if it comes back next year as a single stem or multiple stems, and that's just going to be a big disappointment. So I had to come back today to do the pruning of the willow because the video was horrible. I didn't have anything to hold the camera with, and it sank into my crossbody bag. And all you could hear was muffled sounds and a little bit of blue sky. It was quite funny. There was just no way I could edit it to make it anything useful. So there, that's enough. It's just for a thrift store, just to make some of the vases look more interesting. They say you have to educate your customers on how to use the products you have to sell. Even if it's, glasses and cups and plates, you still have to set it up to look like a dinner table. So my pruners are too small to cut the deep stuff, so I'm going to come back with my loppers later. Everything's still sleeping, but I see things starting to wake up. It won't be long. Spring is coming. I already have a few things started inside. I have onions starting, and I've got 2 little marigolds that have sprouted. Just wanted some color in the house, and I thought it would be nice to plant a bunch of marigolds, but sadly, marigolds are not the most long-lasting seeds, After 1 year, or even more than a year, and they start to fade fast, and your level of success shrinks from there on in, and it's a quick down curve. There's my fire pit and the chair that I could not upcycle. She's just going to make a nice fire. Well, thank you for visiting. As you can see, there will be no more cutting, and I have to think about dinner. Have a great day.